You teach in the city,
Let's come to order.
which is where?
We're all going to rise and say our pledge to the flag, and at the conclusion of that, I'm going to ask everyone to remain standing for a moment of silence for a fallen member of our community, Dr. Gary Bowman. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America.
Thank you very much, folks. You may be seated. We have a busy night tonight, so try to slide in quickly. If there's an open seat, if you could try to make rooms for others trying to get in the room.
If you worked out who's making what?
Yes. On April 3rd, Dr. Gary Bowman, a resident of Lower Southampton Township, former school superintendent from the Chamonix School District. He was a member of numerous volunteer organizations. He served the Bucks County Commissioners on various boards. He served the Feasterville Rotary. He served on a library board. He also served on a hiring board for the police department at one time, and he'll be deeply missed. So we want to remember Dr. Bowman. Prior to the start of the meeting, the board held a public workshop at 6:30 p.m. We discussed the police and employee pension fund management. We discussed activities at the Dolphin Park and summer camp. We discussed some zoning updates. We discussed the Stump Road paving project that we'll discuss later on. Mr. Ryan spoke about an Act 172 update, which is compensating our volunteer emergency services. We talked about amending our fee schedule for Plawiki Park, and we talked about school crossing painting lines by our road department. And item number 10 has been tabled for tonight. Tonight is a special night. The board and the residents get to honor and recognize several of our police officers for outstanding achievements, for promoting officers who have excelled in their profession, and swearing in 2 new officers to the force. The recognition of these officers oftentimes is after decades of hard work, continuing their education, missed family opportunities, public ridicule, sleepless days and sleepless nights. Oftentimes they miss meals and they miss opportunities with family and friends. On this night, we honor the men and women who choose to stand watch over us while we sleep at night and while we enjoy our peace and happiness. After our swearing in tonight, there will be a photo session after each member is sworn in, so we'll do that all at once. Our first officer to be recognized is Detective Joseph Zaffino, and if Chief Krimmel, if you could speak up at this point.
Yeah. Come on down, Joe. So the officer of the year, he's picked by his peers. So about November, we put a thing out, you know, who's doing good work, who's doing a good job this year. Overwhelmingly for Joe this year. He's a firearms instructor, detective, sharp guy. We're hoping for some more big stuff out of him. And congratulations, Joe.
Can we suspend the photo? I'm under direct orders here.
Jesus, for rats.
Smile, Beauty.
Thank you. Tonight, there's going to be 2 corporals promoted to sergeant. They will be Corporal Mark Solinsky and Corporal George Jolly. Chief?
Okay, blue shirts, good. All right, Mark Solinsky grew up in Lower Southampton. He's the son of a retired police officer. He graduated from the Chamonix High School and has a bachelor's degree from Temple University. He attended Temple University Police Academy. He's been with the Lower Southampton Police since 2009. He served as a patrol officer and a corporal. He's also been in the South Central Bucks County SWAT team for 10 years, assigned as a sniper. He's also a member of the Honor Guard. Solinsky had received numerous commendations during his career. He lives in Bucks County with his wife Samantha and their children Willow and Parker. George Jolly's been in the department since 1999. He graduated from Archbishop Wood High School for Boys and then joined the United States Navy, where he served on the submarines. He then worked as a correctional officer at the Bucks County Prison. Upon his hiring with the Lower South, he attended the Philadelphia Police Academy. He has served as a police officer and a corporal. He's been on the Bucks County Major Incident Response Team, where he's a team leader. He's also certified as a hazardous materials incident response person. He's a field training officer and an accident reconstructionist. Jolly has received numerous citations during his career. He lives in Bucks County with his wife Jane. He has 2 daughters and a stepson.
Thank you. At this time, can I have a motion to accept Corporal Mark Jolly as Sergeant? Mark Solinsky?
I'll make the motion.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second by Mr. Peritano. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to promote Corporal George Jolly to Sergeant George Jolly.
I'll make the motion.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second. Is there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. At this time, we'll have the Honorable Judge Baranowski come forward and administer the oath of office to the 2 sergeants.
All right. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mark Solinsky,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the laws of this Commonwealth,
the laws of this Commonwealth,
and this governmental subdivision,
and this governmental subdivision,
and that I will uphold, obey,
and that I will uphold and obey,
enforce the law,
enforce the law,
and discharge the duties of my office
and discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity, without consideration to a person's race,
without consideration to a person's race,
color,
color,
sex,
sex,
religious creed, sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age, national origin,
national origin,
ancestry, handicap, or disability.
Say again.
Ancestry, handicap, or disability.
Ancestry, handicap, or disability.
As a sergeant for the Lower Southampton Township
As a sergeant for the Lower Southampton Township
Police Department. Congratulations.
Do I give it, where do I?
Mr. Jolly, you're next.
I'll be taking a picture.
Okay.
Left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. I state your name.
I, George Jolly,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the laws of the Commonwealth,
the laws of the Commonwealth,
and this governmental subdivision,
and this governmental subdivision,
and that I will uphold,
and I will uphold,
obey,
obey,
enforce the law,
enforce the law,
and discharge the duties of my office
and discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity,
with fidelity,
without consideration
without consideration
to a person's race,
to a person's race,
color, sex, religious creed,
religious creed,
sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age, national origin,
ancestry,
handicap,
handicap,
or disability,
or disability,
as a sergeant for the Lower Southampton Township
as a
Police.
sergeant for the Lower Southampton Township Police.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Judge.
Miller.
Our next officers tonight to be promoted is Officer Stephanie Miller and Officer Kyle Heasley. Chief?
Stephanie Miller grew up in Allentown with her parents and two sisters. She earned a bachelor's degree from Kutztown and the University of Criminal Justice and Psychology. She then attended the Allentown Police Academy. She was a Lehigh County Deputy Sheriff and started for Lower South in 2014. She is assigned to the South Central Bucks County SWAT team as a crisis negotiator. She has received specialized training in human trafficking, domestic violence, and crisis negotiations. She's also worked as an undercover officer during narcotics investigations. Miller has received several commendations during her career, and she lives in Bucks County. All right. Kyle Heasley grew up in Falls Township. He attended Pennsboro High School and Delaware Valley College, where he studied criminal justice. He is an Eagle Scout as a member of the Boy Scouts. He started his law enforcement career in Tullytown Borough in 2012, before starting at Lower Southampton in 2016. He's a firearms instructor, honor guard member, and a K-9 handler. He and his dog Arrow are also assigned to the South Central Bucks County SWAT team. He's received several commendations during his career. He lives in Bucks County with his wife Lauren. They're expecting their first child in the coming weeks.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to promote Officer Stephanie Miller to Corporal Sergeant Miller.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. The board will entertain a motion to promote Officer Kyle Heasley to Corporal Heasley. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
First, I'll do it. Okay.
All right, you ready? Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Stephanie Miller,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support,
obey, and
obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the laws of this Commonwealth,
the laws of this Commonwealth,
and this governmental subdivision,
and this governmental subdivision,
and that I will uphold,
that I will uphold,
obey,
obey,
enforce the law,
enforce the law,
and discharge the duties of my office
and discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity,
with fidelity,
without consideration
without consideration
to a person's race,
to a person's race,
color,
sex,
religious creed,
religious creed,
sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age, national origin,
national origin,
ancestry,
handicap,
or disability,
or disability.
as a corporal for the Lower Southampton Township Police Department.
As a corporal for the Lower Southampton Township Police Department.
Congratulations. was going to guess that was her from the description. All right, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Kyle Heasley,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the laws of this Commonwealth,
the laws of this Commonwealth,
and this governmental
and
subdivision,
this governmental subdivision,
and that I will uphold,
and that I will uphold,
obey,
obey,
enforce the law,
enforce the law,
and discharge the duties of my office
and discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity,
with fidelity,
without consideration
without consideration
to a person's race,
to a person's race,
color,
color,
sex,
sex,
religious creed,
religious creed,
sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age,
age,
national origin,
national origin,
ancestry,
ancestry,
handicap, or disability,
handicap, or disability,
as a corporal for the Lower Southampton
as a
Township
corporal
Police.
for the Lower Southampton Township Police Department.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. One more task.
Last but not least, our two newest members of the Lower Southampton Township Police Force, Edward Worthington and Jack Martin.
Okay. Edward Worthington grew up in Bristol Township. He attended Truman High School where he played soccer. He earned a bachelor's degree from Penn State where he also played soccer. While at Penn State, he conducted an internship at the Lower Southampton Police. After college, he got hired by SEPTA Police and attended the Delaware County Police Academy. He was his class sergeant, and he is the first Lower Southampton Police intern hired here as an officer. Edward is married, lives in Bucks County. Jack Martin grew up in Ottsville, PA. He attended Palisades High School where he played basketball, soccer, and football. He earned a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Westchester University. He conducted an internship at the Quakertown Police Department, and he attended Temple University Police Academy, recently graduating. He's worked a variety of jobs as he attended college. Lower Southampton is his first police job, and Martin also lives in Bucks County.
Thank you. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Edward Worthington to the Lower Southampton Township Police Department effective April 10th, 2024.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's a first and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. And is there a motion on the floor for Jack Martin?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Jack Martin to the Lower Southampton Township Police Department effective April 10th, 2024.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. And the Honorable Judge Baranowski.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me, all right? I state your name.
I, Edward Worthington,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the laws of the Commonwealth,
the laws of the Commonwealth,
and this governmental subdivision,
and this governmental subdivision,
and that I will uphold, obey, and enforce
and that I will uphold, obey, and enforce
the law and discharge the duties of my
the
office
law and discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity, without consideration
without consideration
to a person's race,
to a person's race,
color,
color,
sex,
sex,
religious creed,
religious creed,
sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age,
age,
national origin,
national origin,
ancestry,
ancestry,
handicap, or disability.
handicap, or disability.
As a police officer for Lower Southampton Township Police
As a
Department.
police officer for the Lower Southampton Police Department.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You guys know you were wearing the same suit.
As planned.
You ready? All right. I state your name.
I, Jack Martin,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania,
the laws of this Commonwealth
and the laws of this Commonwealth,
and this governmental subdivision,
and this governmental subdivision.
and that I will uphold, obey, and enforce
That I will uphold, obey, and enforce
the law
the law
and discharge the duties of my office
and discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity,
with fidelity,
without consideration
without consideration
to a person's race,
to a person's race,
color,
color,
sex,
sex,
religious creed,
religious creed,
sexual orientation,
sexual orientation,
age,
age,
national origin,
national origin,
ancestry,
ancestry,
handicap, or disability,
handicap, or disability.
as a police officer for Lower Southampton Township Police Department.
As a police officer for the Lower Southampton Township Police Department.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Robert.
Now we have
Congratulations to all the officers from the board and from the residents as well. And from the board, Judge Baranowski, we thank you for coming out and meeting the needs of our township residents whenever we call on them. At this time, we're going to take a 10-minute recess. At this time, we'll begin with our public comment portion of the meeting. If you wish to address the board, please sign in next to the microphone, state your name, write down your street number. You'll have 3 minutes to comment. Does anyone like to come up and do public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on. The consent agenda for April 10th,
I'm sorry,
Yes.
I was letting
Yes.
you get out, I missed it, I'm sorry.
Okay.
My name's Glenn.
Please sign in, state your name for the board.
Trying to say, pretty much everybody knows me. So, my name's Glenn Stevens. I live at 345 East Myrtle Avenue in Feasterville. Sorry, I can't pronounce your last name, but you asked me last week what I wanted. And I appreciate the question. What I want is to be treated as an equal in this community. I believe in the Constitution that all men are created equal, and I don't feel like I've been treated equally. I believe I've been discriminated against. I think there are ramifications to what was done against me. I didn't write anything tonight, so I was going to wing it. When Mr. Italia spoke with my neighbor at length, as he said so in his email, I'd be happy to forward it to anybody. Spoke to him at length. I still just want to know why he didn't come and talk to me. Like I said, it was 15 steps away. He just gave his rubber stamp approval for my neighbor to destroy and steal my property. And he wouldn't, why would he not just answer me why he didn't come over and talk to me 15 steps away? Can I ask Mike why you didn't say anything to me, Mike?
It's for public comment.
Right. So remember I was just saying I'm being discriminated against, sir? Mr. Dillon? Many people come up here and they're directed to ask Mike questions directly. But I'm not allowed to speak to Mike at all. Why am I being discriminated against by you? Mike discriminated against me by not speaking to me after authorizing the destruction and theft of my property. Now you're going to discriminate against me again.
Your characterization
I
of
spoke with
what...
Cindy, and she's very nice, and she told me to remain calm. It's very hard to remain calm when someone is discriminating against me. We are all created equal, but me.
Sir, you speak every week.
But I'm never allowed to ask my questions. Everybody else is.
He doesn't have to answer your
Mr.
questions.
Stevens, so public comment is intended for us up here on the bench.
I understand.
To hear people's complaints, to consider them, to weigh them in, to maybe have people contact you, maybe you offer us, you and I had a conversation about problem and solution. So, and that's what Mr. Parentano was coming to. A public comment is not intended to be a back and forth because...
I understand.
Right, and I appreciate you being calm for me right now. I appreciate your calmness.
It's very difficult.
I hear you and I appreciate you right now. But it can't be a back and forth. If it's a back and forth, we would be here all night.
Well, I only get 3 minutes. That'll give me a couple of questions. Like I said,
So
on
I'm
many...
engaging with you right now,
Right.
okay? And you and I talked about, I want you to come up with a solution. What, because this has to, I want this to end for you.
Right.
I want this
And I
to end
very
for
much
you.
appreciate it. I just real quickly, many times people come up and they speak to the board. And many times the board has said, why don't you ask Mr. Italia? I don't know why I'm not given that same opportunity.
Okay, Mr. Stevens, your time is up. Thank you.
Come on, I was speaking with Cindy the whole time.
So you and I will talk afterwards,
That doesn't do me any good.
okay? Because remember I
Thank you,
told
Mr.
to hold a
Stevens.
public comment.
Cindy, I'm sorry, but in 2 weeks from now, I'm going to have to not give you a chance to talk because you gobbled up all my time.
I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to come up for public comment?
And have a good week, Mr. Stevens.
See you in 2 weeks.
Seeing none, we'll move on to our consent agenda.
Is it that?
Consent agenda tonight is the approval of minutes from March 27th, 2024, approval of accounts payable from April 10th, 2024, approval of certain recurring monthly bills, April 10th, 2024, and approval of professional escrow release for the amount of $58.70 for 635 Summers Avenue. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 2, consider approval to continue the investment relationship with Morgan Stanley Wealth Management with new pension services through Empower for the police pension, non-uniform pension, drop program, and the 457 deferred plan under the new retirement plan upgrade proposal. Mr. Gatto.
Thank you, Board Vice Chair. The administration, through various meetings over the course of the past couple of months, had met with the Empower Group as well as Morgan Stanley Wealth Management earlier today during the work session. They went through a packet that was submitted before you. The board has the option to make the approval of this investment relationship. One of the things that would come with regard to this new proposal would be more cost-effective funds via Vanguard, as well as a reduction in basis points and the projected potential savings of $40,000 a year through the various pension plans. So we would be looking for approval for tonight, Board Vice Chair.
Thank you. Is there a motion on the floor to accept the approval to continue the investment relationship with Morgan Stanley Wealth Management?
I'll make that motion.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
There's a second. Is there any discussion needed? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Item number 3, consider adoption of ordinance 606, amendment to the lighting ordinance. Mr. Italia.
Thank you, Board Chair. This is an update, as was previously advertised publicly, to bring the lighting ordinance up to date to current standards and just freshen it up all around. So it cleared up some enforcement discrepancies, and really the biggest update's the technology part with the lighting evolving over the years. So that was kind of stale in the previous ordinances. So that's what's in front of you.
Okay, will someone make a motion to adopt ordinance number 606, repealing and replacing Chapter 10, Part 7, repealing and replacing Section 27, repealing Section 23, repealing Section 27 in parts, and adopting a new Section 1721 outdoor lighting ordinance, establishing penalties for violation of the provisions of the ordinance, and repealing inconsistent ordinances or parts and providing for an effective date?
I'll make that motion.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Agenda item, consider adoption of ordinance 607, amendment to the transient retail business ordinance. Mr. Italia.
Thank you, Board Chair. This was to tighten it up a little bit. There was some loose language in there about duration of permits. The biggest impact there was they're no longer valid more than 6 months at a time. So the applicant would need to come in and apply. This does not apply to Play Wiki. This is only valid for transient retail establishments, which would be set up within the I industrial district. So that's your Pennsylvania Boulevard, Andrews Road, Pike Road, Veet, back there where the industrial parks are.
Thank you. So would someone make a motion to adopt ordinance 607, amending Chapter 13, Part 1, under transient retail business?
I'll make that motion.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Next agenda item, consider adoption of ordinance 608, amendment to the ATV ordinance to provide an exemption for official use by emergency services. Chief Krimmel, can you address that?
Yeah, all this is an amendment to an existing ordinance to give us the authority to move off-road vehicles from headquarters, fire station, or wherever to a scene of emergency. Without having a tag on it, that's all.
Okay, will someone make a motion to adopt ordinance number 608, amending Chapter 15, Part 2, Section 218, to provide an exception for official use by emergency services, repealing inconsistent ordinances or parts and providing for an effective date?
I'll make that motion.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Agenda item number 6, consider adoption of ordinance 609, amendment to the noise ordinance. Mr. Italia.
Thank you, Board Chair. This is also to update the ordinance. It was dated and hadn't been touched in a long time. We cleaned it up to, from a technology standpoint as well. A little bit more help on the enforcement, some clarity, and there was conflicts throughout the other codes, so we all put it in one spot, so it's very crystal clear on what the parameters are.
Thank you, Mr. Italia. Will someone make a motion to adopt ordinance number 609, repealing section 2-202, 23-109, and chapter 10, part 3, dealing with maximum noise ordinance, and adopting a new chapter 10, part 3, maximum noise levels, establishing penalties for violations or provisions of the ordinance, repealing inconsistent ordinances or parts, and providing for an effective date.
I will make that motion.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Agenda item number 7, consider authorization for the advertisement of an ordinance adopting the 2018 edition of the International Fire Code and an ordinance adopting the 2018 addition to the International Property Maintenance Code. Mr. Italia, could you elaborate?
Thank you, Board Chair. This is also just to update it. The code cycles every 3 years. Most of the other codes that we're on are the 2018, and they reference this addition. So it's just to bring everything up and make it fresh as well.
Okay, so will someone make a motion to authorize the advertisement of ordinances adopting the 2018 editions of the International Fire Code and International Property Maintenance Code?
I'll make the motion.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
So just, did you say advertisement or adoption?
So I meant to say advertisement. I don't know if Steve said something different.
Oh, I thought we were adopting.
This is just
No,
advertising.
I said it correctly, it's my bad.
All right. Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Okay, agenda item number 8. That is to ratify and authorize.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, can I interrupt?
Sure.
The way it's written is to ratify the approval. I think it should be amended to read, to authorize the township professionals to negotiate an intergovernmental agreement with Upper Southampton Township for the paving of Stump Road as part of the 2024 road paving program.
Okay, so thank you for the clarification.
Go ahead, ask the question.
Should it say shared
Mic on?
agreement?
Well, we're going to negotiate the terms. The terms are going to be to split the cost. There's certain details that have to be worked out, such as the engineering issues, which we're going to do and clarify and then bring back to you with a resolution and an agreement.
And at this time, we're not denoting a bid winner. We just, the figures we have in front of us are just for reference?
No, what I suspect what's going to happen is in 2010, we were the lead organization at Lower South was, and they did the bidding and Upper South went along with it. This time, they bid it as an option to their road program. We're going to I suspect the outcome is going to be, we're going to allow their bidding to stand, and adopt their bidding, and then we're going to add details for inspection and other issues that need to be addressed regarding our half of the road.
Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Dillon, can you recite the motion that we should adopt?
to authorize the township professionals to negotiate the terms of an intergovernmental reimbursement agreement between Upper Southampton Township and Lower Southampton Township for the paving of Stump Road as part of the 2024 road paving program.
Okay, will someone make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? We all understand what this is. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Agenda item number 9, consider adoption of resolution 2024-16, amending the fee schedule. Mr. Gatto, can you address that?
Mr.
Not my area, that is
Mis- I'm
take
sorry,
care of it.
Mr. Italia?
This is to address one modification on the building side, and then it was actually to address, more importantly, was the Play Wiki events for the non-food truck vendors. Non-food truck.
non-food table vendors.
Table vendors, knickknacks, that type of stuff.
Okay, does anyone on the board have any questions or comments? We talked about this at the workshop. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adopt Resolution 2024-16, amending the 2024 fee schedule.
I'll make that motion.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion needed? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Item number 10 was tabled, so now we go into the manager's report.
Thank you, Board Vice Chair. Again, Township Cleanup Day is Saturday, April 20th. That starts at 9 a.m. We are still looking for volunteers. I believe Walt mentioned that we had about 25 volunteers so far, so we could always use a little more for other areas. If you could please call 215-357-7300, extension 318, ask for Danielle, and we'll try to get you situated as a volunteer. Sanitation rebates continue through May 31st. As of yesterday, 835 rebates have been issued, rebating an amount of $41,750 back to the residents. That's all I have, Board Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Gatto. Supervisors' comments. Ms. Bowman.
Go to somebody else, come back to me. I'm looking up a date.
Okay, Mr. Peritano.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. I want to thank everyone for coming out this evening. I want to congratulate our newly appointed sergeants and our newly appointed corporals, as well as our new appointed officers. I also want to thank Judge Baranowski for coming out. He always makes sure he's at our events. It's greatly appreciated. And I just want to just comment that I think Joe in his office has been doing a great job keeping us up to date and moving a lot of stalled stuff along, and I appreciate it, and thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Peritano. Ms. Bowman.
Just wanted to thank everybody that came out tonight, and congratulations to our police department with all the promotions and the new hires. That was great to sit through that. I hope everybody had a great Easter, and please come out to our cleanup day. We could really use the help. Also, I wanted the community to take advantage of and I'm sorry I don't have the exact date. I will talk to Christina about getting advertised on the TV station. The drug take-back day is coming up in spring, and that is bulk. So if you have any unused prescription items that you need to dispose of, please do not flush them. Please do not put them down the drain, but take advantage of our drug payback, take-back program. There's also, I believe, a kiosk downstairs in the police department, but they do not take bulk, so please dispose of them properly and have a great couple of weeks.
Thank you. And seated to my left, Mr. Ottinger.
My condolences to the Bowman family. Mr. Bowman he lived 3 doors down from me on my street, so I typically would talk to him when he rode his wheelchair down the road, so a very nice guy. And congrats to all the police. It's a very big deal tonight, and
Thank you, Mr. Ottinger.
Board
And
Vice-
finally-
Board Vice Chair.
Yes, sir.
As far as the medication take-back day, it's Saturday, April 27th, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay, thank you. I want to thank everyone who is attending our meeting tonight. I thank you very much, and those who are watching from home. We do appreciate seeing you in person or hearing from your comments. I attended the Veterans Advisory Council meeting that was held, the expo that was held at the Senior Center on Saturday. It was a great turnout. Our servicemen and women and the families of our servicemen and women, they deserve our ultimate respect. So that was a great day for them. Congratulations to our officers, our sergeants. Congratulations to our chief for bringing up a fine crew. I think we're all going to be proud of them. Cleanup Day, April 20th. I'll be there. I hope some of the other people can show up. It's only for a few hours, and everyone in our township will benefit from that. Election Day is April 23rd. Be sure to exercise your privilege. Our next meeting is April 24th, so be sure you write that on your calendar. And with that, enjoy the warm weather. And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion?
There's a motion by Mr. Ottinger. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second. Any discussion? I don't think so. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Thank you, folks.